Forget tariffs. Our biggest economic risk is avoidance. The reason for this is because anxiety rates are rising every single year in this country, and they're rising worldwide. One of the reasons for this is because the world is becoming more complex, more ambiguous. We're intaking more and more information, and the world is changing at a faster rate. The mind was not really made for this type of modern environment, and it's becoming less conducive to human psychology than ever before. So you might be thinking, well, what do we do about this? Well, the thing that we need to remember here is that since this mind that we have was not made for this modern environment, and this environment is becoming less and less conducive, we need to learn how to work with our minds in order to get things done in this environment. That's why avoidance is rising and anxiety is rising. And I really think that this is the biggest economic risk that countries face, that businesses face, and that individuals face. The reason for this is because we're leaning more towards an innovation driven economic system. That means it's not the businesses that will have, say, the most resources that will succeed. It's the businesses that drive the most innovative ideas are the ones that will succeed. And in order to have innovative ideas, we need to be able to take risk. The thing about risk is that it's really hard to take risk if you're in that avoidance, anxious mindset, which a lot of us are because the world is changing at a really fast pace and our minds were not made for this. And you might think, well, I don't avoid. I don't engage in that type of thing. Well, if you're procrastinating, if you're overthinking, if you're worrying a lot, if you have things in your life where you're like, oh, I should be doing that, but for whatever reason, I'm not, you're probably avoiding. And it's quite rare for me to see people who aren't avoiding these days. I see avoidance from the exec level to the individual contributor level. I see avoidance at a CEO level. I see avoidance in VPs of multinational organizations. There's avoidance across the board, and it doesn't matter what level you're at right now. And if you are an industry leader, if you are someone who's in a management position, this is a huge risk for you as well, because this is something your team is going to engage in. And what it often looks like is that they're making slow decisions. They keep coming to you for questions. Like they can't seem to be able to just like take accountability and act on their own. They keep having all of these meetings to drive consensus. And guess what? That's not actually like consensus building. That's just avoidance. And so avoidance often looks sort of pretty, and it doesn't look that bad in the beginning, especially. But 10 years down the road, you've been completely surpassed by somebody else, or even just like, honestly, like 2 to 3 years down the road these days, you've been completely surpassed by someone else who was more comfortable taking risk. And they had teams that were more comfortable with risk and more comfortable with innovation. And they were able to get those things through because they weren't engaging in all this avoidance. And this occurs on a personal level as well. How many people are avoiding applying for jobs, avoiding asking for the promotion, avoiding having that meeting with that potential person that could help your career, right? We're engaging in avoidance at such a high level that honestly, it's a little bit scary, because if we're engaging in so much avoidance, because we have so much distraction, because we have so much information, and because everything is becoming really ambiguous, we don't know where we're going to be in just like 2 to 3 years as a civilization, really. And this is well documented that the rate of change is now becoming greater. And so because we don't know this, we really need to figure out how to overcome our own avoidance, because the things that were working before, like CBT, they don't work anymore. And maybe they never really worked that well in the beginning, but like changing your thoughts isn't going to do it for you. And you've probably tried that and it hasn't worked. So this is why I've been working on developing frameworks and tools on how to overcome avoidance. And so if this is something you're interested in, I'm talking about this a lot lately because it's now like my passion project, because I'm seeing it so much. And honestly, I really don't want to see people, companies, even countries go into this stagnation mode where they are playing so small and they're missing out on all the things that they could be doing. And this is across the board. This is not just people, countries, companies. This is sports teams. This is schools. This is any type of organization that has a set of humans doing things in the modern world is probably engaging in avoidance behavior. They're procrastinating. They're not taking enough risk. So reach out to me if this isn't important to you as well, if you're seeing it, if this is resonating with you, if you've been kind of like wondering like, what's wrong with my team? Like, we keep agreeing that we should do these things. We keep agreeing that we should innovate. We keep agreeing that we should move fast, take accountability. But for whatever reason, they're not doing it. This is what's happening because this needs a root cause approach. It needs a approach that integrates both psychology and neuroscience. And it is something that is solved. Like, we do understand why this happens. We understand how to solve it. It's just not necessarily an overnight solution, but it can be solved. Avoidance can be overcome. And then that results in really smart risk taking and innovation and moving fast, which is what's really needed nowadays. So I just wanted to offer this PSA because it's something I've been thinking about, and I'm wondering if this is something you all are seeing as well.